financial and investment infrastructure for Nigeria. And basically, what we're trying to do is to give you an insight into what we're doing here today and why this forum and forums like this have become necessary. Why do we need to invest in Nigeria? A lot of folks that have left Nigeria for some time, and you speak to them about investment in Nigeria, they're trying to get convinced. Why is it necessary? And so what I have tried to do in this presentation is just to do some research on some of the pertinent issues dealing with Nigerian investment, some of the pertinent issues Nigeria faces, the challenges Nigeria faces as a nation, and the reason why we must come together and put our heads together, and put our money together, and put our arms together and do something about it. Now, basically what we're trying to do here is, what is the present situation in Nigeria? As you can see, there is poor access to finance for the average Nigerian. There is no data to support proper planning. So obviously if you're trying to start a business in Nigeria, you're pretty much on your own as far as being able to do research and background checks and so on is concerned. There's no research information to support innovation. We have a lot of innovative people in Nigeria. It's incredible. The folks there are extremely innovative. But there's not a lot of support information to drive that process. And trade is conducted on a cash and carry basis. That is a major impediment to development and growth. Because you don't get to take advantage of the power of leverage. You have people that you want to buy a house or you want to buy anything, you're going to have to come up with the entire amount of money. There's a part in institutional infrastructure, which means that the institutions that are supposed to support businesses, that are supposed to support the financial systems, that are supposed to support you and I and the rest of us are quite poor, and that's a serious situation. And there's very little support from the federal government and from the state governments and institutions. And then you have what we call the key man syndrome. And the key man syndrome simply is that one particular individual is the be-all and end-all of every business. And so if that individual, for any reason, is sick or has something happens to him, the entire business collapses. And a lot of financial institutions have had a lot of investments that they have put in companies go down the drain basically on that particular syndrome. Now, the challenges of the federal and state governments, like we said before, there's little or no financial investment strategy in place, which is exactly what we're trying to address here tonight. There's widespread corruption that we all know. And there's crippling foreign and domestic debt. Now, this is an issue that I'm going to deal in more depth in this particular presentation. I'm trying to link it with the whole concept of why it is necessary for us Nigerians living in the diaspora, to put our arms and heads and money together to support this nation. The civil service is unsophisticated. Now, what that simply means is that you have a lot of people who have grown through the service over the last 20 or 30 years, and they have, they pretty much, all they know pretty much is just the way the civil service operates. And they haven't been either exposed to the kind of trainings that the global environment demands, and so you come with all kinds of sophisticated ideas and they don't really understand what you're talking about because they're not in tune with what's happening, in the rest of the world. And that is why there's no urgency, to solve pressing problems. So what you have is that you have a good idea, you're presenting it to officials, and they just put it in the file and it sits on the desk for 2-3 months. And then when you come back 2-3 months later, the file is still right there, nothing has been done. So there's no urgency in that system. Now, what is financial and investment infrastructure? Now, in order for us to be talking about financial infrastructure, I'm trying to define it for us. Basically, is what I define as a national mechanism which permits capital to be allocated and distributed efficiently and effectively. So basically, a capital allocation formula, so that people like yourselves, people who want to start new businesses, people who want to expand their businesses, people who want to expand to market opportunities, have a system in place where capital can be accessed in a streamlined manner and in a manner that is efficient and effective. That means that all the talk we hear about money misroad, which is very prevalent in Nigeria, it will cease to be the case if we had a financial investment infrastructure in place, because the money will not misroad. The money becomes smart, and the money goes after the good ideas. It goes after the effective and efficient people who have structured their business properly and who know what they're doing. Then you have a strong and reliable financial system which supports innovation and stimulates reform. Now, as we all know, the only constant in this world is change. And the world continuously changes, and it's continuously changing. I mean, the things that we did 5 years ago, we're not going to do 5 years from now. The kind of things that interested us 10 years ago will not interest us 10 years from now. The world is constantly changing, and leaders must understand this and be able to appreciate this. And if they appreciate it, they have to implement it in their national planning, in their developmental planning. Now that is a system that is lacking here. That is what we're talking about in terms of financial and investment and infrastructure. And then a system that permits several participants from different industries to access